eyes guide me and keep me up in the dead of night when I'm alone. I've got no senses of direction, and I can't feel a connection with my own. Need to find it, something that will turn time back around. No, I can't go back to what I know, but I want somewhere to be let go.
Good morning, everybody. I am backlit like crazy. Hello, because of this amazing view. I am actually in kind of my hometown of Washington. I came up here for a couple of reasons. One, if you guys have been watching for a couple months, you know that a couple of our closest friends are having a baby. Well, their baby shower is this weekend, so I'm going to be going to their baby shower. Not sure how much of that I'm gonna vlog. I don't know how comfortable they feel with that. I think that means my coffee's done. I got some coffee. So yeah, a couple of our friends are having a baby shower. I'm not sure how much of that I'm gonna vlog. I don't know how comfortable they feel with me doing that, but that is a possibility. I'm also gonna be hanging out with a couple of my friends that I grew up with that I'm very excited about. And also my brother, surprise, I have a brother. He just got into grad school, which is really, really exciting. And so we're gonna go kind of like celebrate with just my family. And yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of like seeing family and friends and having just kind of a chill vacation a little bit. Okay, so I have just been sitting here doing a little bit of editing before I kind of hit the road. This morning, I am actually going to go to Sly's Bakery, which is a bakery in Poulsbo, and I'm gonna get like lots of donuts for a friend of mine. I'm gonna go visit my friend at where he works and bring him donuts, which should always make things a little bit better. And then from there, I'm actually going to be kind of like shadowing my mom for the day. For those of you who don't know, my mom is actually an elected official. She's in politics, that's her job. I thought it would be really interesting to kind of like sit down and talk with her just about politics in general, but maybe things that maybe people didn't know about what it's like being, you know, in politics in a small town, little things that people don't pick up on, perhaps encouragement for people who maybe want to get involved in politics and maybe a recommended route to do that. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to end up interviewing her, honestly, like just because there's so much to talk about and there's so much to catch up on. I want you guys to meet her because she's an amazing woman and I love her to death and I'm very proud of everything that she's accomplished. And yeah, I think maybe you guys will find it kind of interesting to talk with her. So yeah, I'm gonna do lunch with my mom and then I'm shadowing her for a couple meetings that she has this afternoon. And then we're gonna just play it by ear and see where the day takes us. I love little downtown Poulsbo. This is Sly's and this is where we're gonna get some donuts. Yes, please. Hi. I need a dozen donuts. Got the goods, guys. Got a dozen donuts. By the way, this is the car that I rented for a while. I'm up here. It's pretty nice. I think it's just a little Camry. I am the donut fairy. Let's go hand these donuts off. What up, dude? What up? I come bearing donuts.
Thanks.
Okay, so I am a little bit lost right now. I'm in Bremerton. I never come to Bremerton ever, so I never know where anything is. I'm on my way to have lunch at Anthony's, which is a really good seafood restaurant right on the water in Bremerton with my mom. So hopefully we find it. It says I'm about 2 minutes away, so far so good. And there's the microphone.
So you're gonna you're doing this right now?
I mean, maybe a little. Why don't you say like your name and what you do, and yeah, just start with that, I guess.
I'm Becky Erickson, and am the mayor of the City of Poulsbo.
How did you get started as like being mayor? What started the political process for you?
I got mad. We inherited the farm from Grandma, okay? And we're working on the farm, and she passed away. Very shortly thereafter, we got a notice of annexation in the City of Poulsbo. We were going to move from the county into the city.
Is that for people who don't know what annexation is that basically what it is, being incorporated into the nearby city limits?
It's being incorporated into the city. And we were a county, we were in the county, and they were incorporating us into the City of Poulsbo. We didn't want to be incorporated in because we knew our property taxes would go up, and we were afraid of development. We were afraid that the farm would have development pressures. We lost, and they did it anyway. The city council voted to annex us in. We got a little sheet of paper talking about a community meeting that was going to be held about development that was occurring around our farm. I said to your dad, I said, I think we better find out what's going on. So I went down to the City of Poulsbo, and I said to the gal, I said, what does this mean? She says, well, the property around you is going to be developed, and it's going to be 100 houses. And this is what the subdivision looks like, and they're going to be coming in for a community, they're going to have a community meeting, and then they'll put in an application for development after they take input from the community. So I said, so who's paying for the school, and the roads, and the water, and the sewer, and all that? How is that all going to get paid for? And they said, well, wait a second, let me show you. The developers will pay for it, let me show you the plan. She came back out with this big piece of paper, like butcher paper, big long piece of paper, and had a layout in the entire corridor, and it had developments stacked up all the way along, and it was about 1,500 houses in various developments all the way along in it.
Thank you.
Then what happened? I said, wow, and that's unbelievable. And they said, well, that's what's going to happen. And so I said, is there any way that I can get a copy of that map? They said, well, it's the only one we have. In fact, it was a big piece of like white butcher paper kind of looking thing. And they'd taken little pieces of the developments and cut them out and like pasted them in places. She said, I said, look, I'll leave a driver's license, a credit card, whatever you need. Just can I take a copy of it? She said, sure. So I gave her my ID. I took it off, and there's sounded the graphics was up the hill, and as luck would have it, they could make a copy of it because it was a big document, but they also, even in 2006, could put it in a PDF file. So then I went racing home to your dad. We talked about it. I had met an attorney during the annexation process who was fighting against the annexation. I showed him what was going on, and he said, you can ask for something called a moratorium. And I said, well, what's a moratorium? He said, well, it's where you basically ask the city not to develop it. I said, okay, how do I do that? She says, well, how well do you know your city council members? And I said, I don't know them at all. He says, well, you're going to need to talk to them because you have to convince them to pass a moratorium to stop it. Turned to your dad, and I said, honey, I think I know there's another thing we need to do. I think I know how we can stop it. He says, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to buy a full-page ad in the local newspaper and show people what's going on. I took all the documents down to the local newspaper, spent about $2,700, bought a whole page in the local newspaper and said, look out, this is what's going on. There's this huge development headed our way. It was this huge amount of housing, badly developed, badly planned, impact fees not taken care of. It was a mess. Everybody, then the whole town kind of erupted, put a huge amount of pressure on the city council, and they passed a building moratorium. I realized that what was going to have to happen if I was going to save our farm was I was going to have to get politically elected because I couldn't trust them, because they didn't care what was happening in the town, and that's why I ran for council. I got mad. I said, this is ridiculous. This is not going to happen to this town.
Right. So you decided to run for city council. What year is this at this point?
2007.
Okay, 2007. You were like, I can't trust any of these people on the city council right now, so I better run myself. So what was that process like?
Actually, it was pretty easy. I had made quite a splash with all of the
full-page ad? The
full-page ad, and after the full-page ad, and I got the building moratorium passed, what I did is I got deeply involved in the government right away as a citizen. And they had a group of people that were putting together something called the critical areas ordinance, which determined all the wetlands and how we treated the streams and the environmental pieces of the city. They were putting that together, and I got involved in that. Before, you could build a house very, very close to a creek, to a stream, and it needed to be backed up. The houses needed to be backed up for environmental purposes, but also for flooding.
That's also, I think, a very Washington thing that maybe a lot of people don't realize. For example, we have to deal with earthquakes. That's something that has to be taken into account. We also have a ton of water and streams and creeks and salmon.
Right. It is all of those things, but it's even things like the wetlands, which a lot of people call swamps. They're real important there because they are natural buffers for stormwater runoff. If you're living on a piece of property and somebody above you, on a hill above you, builds a bunch of stuff and takes away the ability for the land to absorb water, you're going to be subject to urban flooding. It's not only environmentally, it's also for the value of the community. So, safety, all those things. So I got involved with that. Also got involved with a group to change the code so that we weren't building houses like cordwood. And if we were going to build houses, we were going to make sure that they provided open space and they paid the appropriate impact fees and they paid their fair share. And the stuff that we would build would be great neighborhoods. Cities continue to grow and change. What they have to do is grow and change in a way that actually makes them better. Make them better, not worse. We were going to make Poulsbo worse. We had to change the code so that when construction was going to come, it was actually going to make it a better community, not a worse community. I'm on the city council for a couple years, still keeping changing, working towards code, and also educating myself. There's a lot to learn about government. Government is not just going to parades and giving speeches. It is hard work of running and working in an organization. So educated myself. And then I ran for mayor in 2009 and was elected to mayor in 2010. The big issues were still growth and development for me, but at that point we started to slide into a recession, the worst recession in a generation. The financial situation of the city was very, very bad, and I seemed to be the only one that was really recognizing it. Most of the other council members and the mayor at the time thought it was a rainy day.
I think it helps that you have a financial background that I think a lot of people don't have. You know, for your entire life, my entire time growing up, you were an accountant. Mm-hmm. So you knew numbers, you knew people, you knew business, but also right before you, well, even during when you were on the city council, you were CFO of BGI, right?
CFO of BGI.
Which is Bainbridge Graduate Institute, a graduate school on the island. And
I've been a financial person and an IT person. My entire business career, I've always been a working person.
You also have a degree in economics, right?
Right, and I'm more really of an economist finance person than I am an accountant. I do accounting, and I do a lot of accounting, but my training is more in economics so that I can understand the impact, the financial impacts of decisions. How to run government in an entrepreneurial way to seize opportunities to benefit the community. That's my training in economics. So I ran for mayor and I was elected. It was in the middle of the recession, so the first thing that I had to do at that point is to make sure we were financially secure. It was tough. I had to lay off a lot of people, but we did it through what was called the voluntary separation program, which is we asked for volunteers.
They did that in the Air Force recently too.
Really? Oh, yeah, I thought this was something
No, that was a big deal too because everybody volunteered to leave. Basically, they didn't anticipate how many people wanted to get out.
Oh, that's bad news.
Right, and so ever since then, they've been having like so many signing bonuses because they need people to stay. There was a big flood of people leaving, basically.
Voluntary separation worked pretty well at the city. We reduced labor by 13% in the city. And cut back everywhere else. Didn't buy no new equipment. Just cut. Survived the economy without hitting reserves. Reserves in government should only be used for an emergency, not a systemic issue.
Right. And this at the time was a systemic issue. Right. I think it's very common these days to feel really distrustful and like upset with just politics in general. I think it's been, especially within the past like maybe 5 or so years, everybody's a little bit tired.
Yes.
What would you say to people who are feeling a little bit upset with the political climate, the political system, and what would you say to get, like, what would your advice be?
My advice would be that work on what you can change. I really believe in the power of local government. I think you can make great communities. I think you can help. Most government that affects people is not the federal government. It's making sure that the roads are in good shape. The police arrive when you call them, and making sure that your parks are clean and safe for your kids, and somebody's not dumping garbage all over in your yard. Those are the things that impact you every day. That's what I work on. That's what I can control. That's what anybody, if they want to, all it does is it takes one person. It just takes one person to stand up and say, this is wrong, we need to fix it. Don't quit. I think the hardest part for people when they get involved in politics is they get frustrated and they quit. You don't quit. If you're right, if you think that what you're doing is the best for your community, not you, okay? You're going to be working for other people. You're not working for yourself. You're working for other people. If you believe that, all it takes is one person. And you just don't stop.
So for people who might be watching this right now saying like, oh, well, this all sounds jolly and good, she's just saying just get out there and do it. What are some like very measured, specific little things that a person can do to get involved like right away?
Show up at the city council and watch it. Not once, but over and over again. If you can't go to the city council, find out if it's on TV somewhere. If it's not on TV, after city council, why is it not on city TV? Why aren't they streaming it on the internet? Get informed. That's the first thing. It's no fair getting mad at something you don't understand. The second thing is watch for people and help people that really are making constructive change. Whatever that looks like to you. There's a lot of people that are far left, there's a lot of people that are far right. I'm neither. I'm a moderate. Whatever your political viewpoint is, whatever you think should be happening, get informed and find those people that are actually getting things done to promote that viewpoint. Work with and surround yourself with people that actually work towards change.
Oh, it is beautiful. Where are all the people? What is this boat? The big boat?
That's the Turner Joy. It's a museum. And there is the fast ferry coming in.
The fast ferry?
Nope, it's right there. The fast ferry's right there.
Right here.
But
oh, it's beautiful. I didn't realize the shipyard was right there.
Yeah, the shipyard's right there. This is where they have the Blackberry Festival. And
Oh.
this place is crowded. They have a band down here, and they have everything to do with blackberries, and it's actually very cool.
So we just left Anthony's, which is a little seafood restaurant. I'm with my mom. I know she's like, you're weird. I'm actually kind of like following her around for a couple meetings this afternoon. What is this next meeting we're going to?
We're going to something called PlanPol, the Planning Policy Board for Kitsap Regional Coordinating Council.
That's a long title.
It is a long title.
What do we discuss in this
Land
meeting?
use planning.
Land use planning. So literally how the land will be used?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for the county, for all the jurisdictions and Kitsap County.
Kitsap County, out of all the counties in Washington State, where do we rank population-wise?
I don't know what rank, I mean, we have about 270,000 people, and I don't know where we are. We're,
Compared to the others, yeah.
I'm sure Clark County's bigger. Pierce, Kitsap, and Snohomish are definitely bigger.
Gotcha. So we're gonna see how this goes.
This will be a lot more interesting.
Lots of money being distributed for projects around the county.
This is actual federal highway dollars, federal transportation dollars.
Got it. Oh, we've had a busy day so far today. My mom ended up having another meeting after the meeting that I was just in, and also I barely filmed anything. I just filmed a tiny bit after the fact, but it feels kind of inappropriate to whip out a camera when you're in a room full of like very professional people. I was like in my jeans and I was like, but there was another meeting afterward and I couldn't stay for it because I had to go put more money in my car meter because I paid to park in a parking garage. I asked my mom how long the meeting was gonna be and she said it would probably go for another hour and a half or so, and I was like, not that I didn't want to stay, but I actually told my friend Brandon that I would meet up with him and we'd go to a Reindeers game with a couple of his friends too. So we're kind of going on a group outing to a Reindeers game, which I've never done before in my life. So I'm actually waiting outside of Brandon's apartment right now. He should be here in actually just a couple minutes, and we're going to, I guess, caravan down together and watch a Reindeers game. Foul. So cute. Oh my gosh.
Why is there fungi in your camera?
It helps the wind.
I said that earlier. Wait, what?
It's a wind muff.
It's a mad scientist.
So
your camera's a mad scientist.
basically, yeah.
It's like, I don't know, Morty. What does it do?
It's a wind muff. If it's really windy outside, you can still hear the audio.
So it's not all like, hey.
Yep, exactly.
It's like every car video you go listen to the exhaust noise. It's like, hang on to the back, Castro!
Oh!
Up here, we're still here! We're still here! We're still here!
Hey! Perkins! 222.
Oh, it's the rally.
Oh! We win, guys, we win. Winner, winner, woo!
This concludes the first vlog of me up in Washington. For today's question of the day, where is home to you? I've asked that to a ton of people, especially like military families, and it's kind of a difficult question for people to answer because so many different places can feel like home depending on the situation. And I think I would say that too, especially because Blake isn't here with me. Washington normally feels like home, but without Blake here, I'm realizing that like it doesn't feel as much like home as I feel like it should. Let me know in the comments down below where home is to you, and I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye!